Bava's A Bay of Blood.
What's up, everyone, and welcome to Horror Italiano. We have got a good one tonight.
What's up, Joe the Psychologist? I'm doing great. I got me a nice cold glass of brew, and we're gonna discuss a Mario Bava classic, brother. I've been waiting for this one, so let's go, son. Let's go.
And tonight, we're going to be discussing A Bay of Blood, released in 1971. It was directed by Mario Bava, starring Claudine Auger as Renata Donati, Claudio Camasso as Simone, Luigi Pistilli as Alberto, and Anna Maria Rosati as Laura. The murder of a wealthy countess triggers a chain reaction of brutal killings in the surrounding Bay Area, and several unscrupulous characters try to seize her large estates. I gotta say, this fucking movie was bonkers, and I mean bonkers in a good way.
Capital B bonkers.
Totally unexpected. Normally when we see movies, especially involving killers, you got one, two, three people to figure out from. There was so many people in here for you to fucking figure it out without saying right now who the killer was. I just want to know, with so many people they were showing, did you figure out the killer?
No, absolutely not.
All right, I was gonna call you on this one because I was like, if this motherfucker tries to tell me that he totally figured it out, I'm gonna say no way. And you had just such a variety of characters. I mean, you had right off the bat, the shiesty real estate guy, his lover. Then you had the married couple. Then you had the quirky weird couple. Then you had the guy who rubs squid on his fucking face. I mean, this was just
Wait, I thought that was the weird quirky couple you're talking about. Was someone weirder than that couple? Mario Bava is on record, I believe, for saying he regrets shooting the scene where he pinned the poor insect, alive, essentially, just to get the effect. Yeah, I don't like bugs, but I don't like seeing them suffer either, man.
Not like that. And I sat there because we've given a friend of ours one of those showcases of butterflies, and I sat there and it finally dawned on me. I'm like, I'm not doing that again. Besides this movie having a slew of people to choose from, it had so many fucking twists in it that your neck broke.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna fucking lie. I was sitting there, we're watching it. And mind you, it's middle of the afternoon, dinner time. I had one beer, smoked a couple bowls, but nothing, out of the ordinary that, I would not lack attention in watching the movie. And then we got to this one part and I'm like, wait, what's going on here? Isn't he dead? And I loved it. I loved it because it just kept bouncing around in between all these characters. I think what it was, where I got thrown off a little bit, was that Alberto and Ventura kind of looked alike.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, so when Renata had stabbed Ventura, and then later on you see Alberto run out, I thought Alberto was Ventura. That's what it threw me off, because I'm wait, she just stabbed him and now they're working together? I'm confused. And and then it's dark, it's happening at night, and the guys looked alike. I love the reveals of each of the twists as the character is about to die. I thought I'm sure it's been done before. Maybe I wasn't paying attention for it. I found with this many group of characters that you're supposed to be picking from, that it was pretty inventive for you to see, Laura, for example, I think she was the first one. She's like, no, I had nothing to do with this. Simon is choking her. You get the flashback of her part in this, and you're like,
yes.
Oh, she's not as innocent as she's saying. Mm-hmm. And then you get more of a flashback. She's like, oh, she was double crossing here. With the way that you were getting all those twists thrown in there by Mario, that thankfully he put in those explanations as to the characters and how they're involved in the story as they're basically dying. Did you keep up with all these twists?
No. What I really did enjoy about all of that was they had a sequence of flashbacks after the fact. We witnessed these characters be brutally murdered, but then we come to find out what their involvement was in everything. And then when you think, okay, that's the killer then, it completely flips it up on its head again a few scenes later when when there's another flashback saying, no, this person is the killer, then they completely just regurgitate all that shit out the window. They bring forth more information and exposition. You're like, wait a minute, so this is the killer. Like, what the fuck is going on? So I came to the conclusion where this film, there is no killer, it's killers, because they're all killing each other for various motives, but all dealing with the cream. You know, they want that bread of that real estate, you know. So it's an interesting dynamic going on in this film, and it was fresh. I was like, holy shit. I personally haven't seen a film where I guess you would consider a giallo film, because
it's a giallo. Yeah. No, it is.
Very interesting way of story mechanics going forward on this one, and the structure was very cool, very fresh. I mean, I'm talking about a movie that's from 1971, and I'm saying it's fresh. To me, it's fresh. I have never seen this film before, or a film like this. So awesome stuff.
A little fun fact here. There are 2 shots in here, 2 kill shots, Friday the 13th, 1 and 2, purposely done as homage to this movie.
Yeah.
Why? Because I guess this movie is the grandfather, the godfather of slasher movies.
Yeah, because before this film, there wasn't anything quite like this. This is the first film that really brought in like the big kill count, which, as we call it, the slasher film. There wasn't anything really like this at the time. So when this came out, it completely changed the game. And you mentioned those 2 scenes. I caught them immediately. I was like,
which was I got the spear. The spear literally. As soon as you saw it, that one was the obvious one.
Obviously. The other one was the hatchet to the face to Roberto. The hatchet. As soon as he opened the door, he got the hatchet. That was from Friday the 13th Part 2, when the guy in the wheelchair got the hatchet to the face.
Okay. All right. It's the blueprint to most of the slasher movies that we watch now. It was a dog eat dog type of movie.
Nice. I like
because everyone had their own reason for what they were doing. Each character was unscrupulous. None of them had any moral fiber other than getting this money. And watching them take each other out one by one, joining up, tag teaming, basically, in some instances.
With the exception of those young punks that broke in there just to see what, you know, hey, I heard somebody was killed here.
Talk about like, oh, so I heard somebody was killed here. Let's go check it out. You know what? No smart person would have said, that sounds like a good idea. Let's go ahead and go to this house.
Mind you, it's not like this person was killed like a decade or 2 prior. It's just happened.
Yeah, they like literally want like no. And dude, that one guy with I don't know what that hairstyle was that he had. That was like, oh, this is clearly. I'm like, this is that? I'm like, is that a fro? Wait,
that guy bothered me just looking at him, bro. Oh man,
it was an afro and a mullet.
That was Roberto. He got the axe to the whatever machete or whatever he had. He got to the face, the hatchet.
As you're watching it, because of where it took place, even though it took me a minute to remember that a bay is salt water. You know, I thought of I Know What You Did Last Summer. Like there was just so many movies that you can see came out of this. Yeah, man, this definitely, I gotta say, it deserves the name, the Godfather of slashers. Yeah. And I'm glad we got to do it. But as we're doing it, I'm like, oh, it's gonna be a good one. This is a straight up. We're talking slasher here.
I couldn't wait.
Oh yeah. I mean, like we love the slashers.
This is the original body count film. We have to bring this up as well. This is one of the very first films, and a lot of people credit this as being the first film to introduce the POV killer, the POV shot. We see everything from the killer's perspective. If you're not familiar with that, think Black Christmas. Of course, Friday the 13th, the original had it as well. And this one here, it utilized it in a way where they're not trying to hide the killer, they're just trying to hide who the killer is, because whenever they did the POV shot, it wasn't just one person like we mentioned before. They would utilize it for various characters just to kind of throw us off into thinking it was just one killer. But no, like you had mentioned before, all the different couples, everybody was in on this. Everybody wanted this estate. Everyone wanted the countess's fortune, and the way it was shot was beautiful. I love when the guy was, I believe it was Simon that did it. He was chasing the girl that was in the bay, and as he's chasing her, it's all through POV. It's 1971, so the effects here, they're not pretty, meaning they look gross. They're not done to be all elaborate and oh that looks great. No, it's meant to look fucking brutal, disgusting. The blood color, everything would just scream like vintage, and especially the 70s. That one shot, I believe it was one of the female killers, Laura or Renata, one of the two, decapitated the gypsy woman, and as it cuts her head, you can see like the bones and the blood splats, like and the best part about it was the transition to that was a porcelain doll's head crashing onto the floor and breaking into like 1,000 little pieces. I'm like, what a sick transition. Mario Bava, he's a great director, but I think he's an even better cinematographer, man. This guy is incredible.
The end of this movie.
I was waiting for you to bring that up.
Like, you're sitting there and you hear, Mom, Dad. All these people took each other out. There's like literally no winners in here, except for the two kids.
Mind you, the kids took them out just playing around. They thinking they're playing dead. And they're like,
Mommy and Daddy played dead good.
Nah, they dead.
Let's go run in the bay. I'm like, what?
You know what's crazy is I saw that clip somewhere years ago, and I always thought, wow, what kind of fucked up ending is that? Then when I saw the movie, I'm like, that's where this is from. Holy shit.
I triple heart, I don't know, 5 heart. I fucking loved that ending.
Outlandish.
Oh, they're playing dead good. And they go run into the bay.
They don't see all that blood.
None of that. But then you realize, so they're going to get the house because they're Renata's kids. That's their kids.
Yes.
So in the process of taking everybody out along the way, these kids are now going to get this house. Basically, it's their parents' home at the end of this all. They're always going to remember, well, the only reason we got this house is because we thought the gun was fake and we killed Mom and Dad.
I think we don't find it shocking because to me, at least, I speak for myself here, it was more silly than anything, but almost like ironic. Like the irony in that ending was like perfect. The kills in it so memorable. Like when Simon got stabbed, like he got impaled against the wall, and he's holding a fucking knife trying to stab the dude. His facial, like the way he's like he's trying to fight back. I'm like, I'm watching it with my girlfriend. By the way, she was so confused throughout this whole entire movie, bro. She's like, this is really confusing. But when we're watching, I'm like, look at his face. Look at his face. Why does he look like that? Watch it back. Look at Simon. He looks crazy, bro. He looks crazy.
Any last thoughts on the movie?
Yes, I mean, I love the little details in this movie. I love the dirty lens look to this film. Like, I don't know if you noticed it. It's a very interesting effect. It looks like the way it was filmed, it looks like they never wiped the lens off. You see like particles and dust on it. It just gives it that real grunge look to it. And the score, I love this. There's this one scene where it's beautiful music that transitions into this horrific death, bro. I'm like, that's poetry, man. Keep in mind, it took about 8 or 9 minutes, give or take, for the first piece of dialogue to be spoken.
The montages on giving you everyone's involvement is, oh man,
it's one of the most entertaining hour and 20 so minutes in
24 hours, 24 minutes.
Yeah, bro, it's never boring. It's the story's always progressing somehow. The only time there's a bit of a lull is when they introduce the teenage characters. They don't last long, but they're typical obnoxious teens. But again, keep in mind, this is before all the slasher films that we know of. So this is the original group right here in a sense.
Yes, that's what I was going to say, because everybody else was in it for something else. This group of teenagers just happened to show up.
People got naked, dead, sex, dead. I mean, I don't think they did any drugs, but
all the tropes, the young ones, all started with this one.
Hey, brother, you mentioned the weird couple, right? I don't know his name, but the gypsy woman and the guy who had studied sex. What's
Paolo.
it called?
Paolo.
I don't know his name, but that dude, I don't know what it was, but I kept seeing Nick Cage in this guy's fucking face, bro. I'm like, this guy looks like fucking Nick Cage when he had the beard and shit.
Well, I mean, they're Italians, and Nick Cage is of Italian descent.
Yes, that is true. Yeah, Coppola's nephew, right? And also, I watched it with the subtitles on, right? And I love how the Italian accents are so heavy in it. At points, it says like indistinct in the subtitles because even the subtitles can't figure out what they're saying.
Yeah, that's true.
That was good. One last thing too before I wrap my portion up. As far as this being like a very early concept of a slasher film, one thing this movie has that most slashers don't, because slashers for the most part is you got a killer, he's killing people, body count, who can outdo who and what kill. You know what I'm saying? Who's doing the makeup effects? That's all I care about when I watch a slasher film. But this one is actually a slasher with a story. There's actually a little storyline going on as you watch it. Oh man, excellent film. I love this movie. It was so much fun because it was never boring.
I fucking love this movie. I definitely gonna watch it again.
Why do you think I kept saying, bro, have you seen it? Have you seen it? And that's why I was pushing like, bro, please.
And like I said, as soon as I knew it was gonna be a slasher, and like you said, when you got the POV of the killer's view, if you have not seen this movie and you check it out, I promise you, there's gonna be so many scenes that remind you of movies you have already seen.
By design.
Like you said, when Simon was chasing her, do you know what I thought about? Scream, when Drew was running.
Mm-hmm.
That's the scene that came to me. Check this movie out. This is a slasher one. And with that, I mean, I'm definitely going to say you should check this out. Rick already told you it's available on Prime.
Mind you, Mario Bava, so far we covered A Bay of Blood, Black Sunday, and Planet of the Vampires. 3 movies that couldn't be no different from each other.
As I keep diving more into this with Rick, I'm just starting to see that Italian cinema played such a big part in the horror movies that we're watching now. In our next episode, we are going back to Dario. It's going to be Tenebrae. And remember, support Italian horror cinema.